How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through the Elite performances and matchups from yesterday, Wednesday, January 6th, and I'm going to preview everything that happens today just so you know what's going on today within the world of sports within every single league. Starting with the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks hosted the Charlotte Hornets, and the Charlotte Hornets were able to beat the Atlanta Hawks 102-94 after outscoring the Atlanta Hawks by 16 in the first quarter, and they were able to run away with that lead and get the win. For the Atlanta Hawks, off the bench, their shooting guard Kevin Huerter would finish with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in 33 minutes, shooting 7 for 15 from the field and 5 for 12 from 3. Their starting small forward, DeAndre Hunter, would finish with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 6 for 15 from the field in 34 minutes and 1 for 7 from 3. Their elite starting point guard, Trae Young, would finish with 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 2 for 9 from the field in 35 minutes, 0 for 3 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And the Hawks' leading scorer was their starting power forward, John Collins, who'd finish with 23 points and 11 rebounds, shooting 9 for 16 from the field in 32 minutes, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. For the Charlotte Hornets, off the bench, their elite point guard, LaMelo Ball, would finish with 16 points, 8 rebounds and 5 assists in 24 minutes, shooting 6 for 12 from the field and 2 for 5 from 3, and he made both of his free throw attempts. And the leading scorer for the Charlotte Hornets was their starting small forward, Gordon Hayward, who finished with 44 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists, shooting 15 for 25 from the field in 39 minutes, also shooting 4 for 9 from 3 and 10 for 12 from the free throw line. With this win, the Charlotte Hornets are currently sitting with the 12th best record in the NBA at 3-5, and with this loss, the Atlanta Hawks now drop to being tied with the 7th best record in the East with a 4-4 record after having a 3-0 start to the season. Jumping out to Indianapolis, the Pacers were able to beat the Houston Rockets 114-107 after outscoring them by 4 in the fourth quarter. And it was a back and forth game, but the Pacers were able to come up with their 6th win of the season. For the Houston Rockets, off the bench, their shooting guard Eric Gordon would finish with 20 points in 33 minutes, shooting 7 for 15 from the field and 2 for 10 from 3, 5 for 5 from inside. And their elite starting shooting guard James Harden would finish with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, and 2 blocks, shooting 5 for 14 from the field in 39 minutes, also shooting 1 for 5 from 3 and 4 for 4 from the line. Their starting shooting guard, David Nwaba, he would finish with 15 points as well for the Rockets. He would play 37 minutes, finish with 4 rebounds as well, as he shot 6 for 11 from the field in 37 minutes. And then their leading scorer was their elite starting point guard, John Wall, who finished with 28 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 12 for 20 from the field in 37 minutes and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And for the Indiana Pacers, off the bench, their shooting guard, Justin Holiday, would finish with 20 points and 5 rebounds in 32 minutes, shooting 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Their starting shooting guard, Victor Oladipo, would finish with 18 points and 9 rebounds, shooting 6 for 20 from the field in 36 minutes, 1 for 7 from 3. And their starting power forward, Domantas Sabonis, would finish with 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 9 for 14 from the field in 38 minutes. And their leading scorer was their starting point guard, Malcolm Brogdon, who'd finish with 35 points and 7 assists, along with 3 steals in 39 minutes, shooting 13 for 25 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. With this win, the Indiana Pacers are now sitting at 6-2, which is tied with the Magic for the 2nd best record in the entire Eastern Conference. And with this loss, the Houston Rockets are currently sitting at 2-4 by themselves with the 13th best record in the West. Jumping out to Orlando, the Orlando Magic hosted the Cleveland Cavaliers and were able to beat them 105-94 after outscoring the Cavaliers by 14 in the second quarter and then 13 in the third, 27 combined points in the middle 2 quarters. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, their starting center, Andre Drummond, would finish with 19 points and 15 rebounds, shooting 9 for 16 from the field in 26 minutes. And the Cavs' leading scorer was their starting point guard, Colin Sexton out of Alabama, who finished with 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 8 for 20 from the field in 35 minutes and 3 for 7 from 3. And then for the Orlando Magic, off the bench, their shooting guard, Terrence Ross, would finish with 20 points and 22 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the field and 5 for 6 from the three-point line. He was their leading scorer for the day as well. Their starting power forward, Aaron Gordon, would finish with 15 points and 8 rebounds in 27 minutes, shooting 5 for 7 from the field. Their starting center, Nikola Vucevic, would finish with 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 7 for 18 from the field. And the Orlando Magic leading scorer was their shooting guard, Dwayne Bacon, from Florida State, who would finish with 19 points, shooting 8 for 14 from the field in 32 minutes. With this win, the Orlando Magic are currently sitting at 6-2, tied with the Indiana Pacers for the second best record in the East. And with this loss, the Cleveland Cavaliers are sitting at 4-4, which is tied for the seventh best record in the East with the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks right now. Jumping out to Philadelphia, the Philadelphia 76ers hosted the Washington Wizards, and in this game, they were able to get the best of the Wizards, beating them 141-136 to retain the best record in the East, especially after outscoring the Washington Wizards by a combined 15 points in the first half. For the Washington Wizards, off the bench, their small forward, Davis Bertans, would finish with 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals in 33 minutes, shooting 6 for 15 from the field and 4 for 12 from 3. Their elite starting point guard, Russell Westbrook, would finish with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists, shooting 8 for 18 from the field in 39 minutes, 3 for 6 from 3. Their elite shooting guard, Bradley Beal, would lead both teams in scoring as he finished with 60 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 20 for 35 from the field in 38 minutes, 7 for 10 from 3, and 13 for 15 from the free throw line. And then for the Philadelphia 76ers off the bench, their shooting guard, Shake Milton, would finish with 19 points in 20 minutes, shooting 6 for 9 from the field and 6 for 8 from the free throw line. Every single one of their starters had at least 15 points in the matchup. Their starting shooting guard, Danny Green, would finish with 15 points and 5 assists, along with 3 rebounds and 2 steals, shooting 5 for 10 and 5 for 8 from the three-point line in 30 minutes. Their elite starting point guard, Ben Simmons, would finish with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and 2 steals, shooting 7 for 9 from the field in 36 minutes and 3 for 6 from the free throw line. Their starting small forward, Tobias Harris, would finish with 19 points and 7 rebounds, shooting 8 for 16 from the field and 3 for 7 from 3. Their starting shooting guard, Seth Curry, would finish with 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 11 for 14 from the field in 36 minutes and 6 for 7 from 3. And then their leading scorer was their elite center, Joel Embiid, who finished with 38 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks, shooting 11 for 20 from the field in 37 minutes, 3 for 4 from 3, and he made all 13 of his free throw attempts. And with this win, the Philadelphia 76ers are sitting at 7-1 with the best record in the Eastern Conference by themselves. And with this loss, the Washington Wizards are now 2-6, which is good enough for the 13th best record in the East, half a full game behind the 3-5 Charlotte Hornets as it currently stands. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Heat hosted the Boston Celtics. This one was on prime time, and the Boston Celtics were able to beat the Miami Heat 107-105 after outscoring them by 2 points in the fourth quarter, going into the quarter tied. In this rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals for the Miami Heat, their elite starting center, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists, along with 2 blocks, shooting 5 for 10 from the field and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Their starting forward, Duncan Robinson, would finish with 16 points and 6 rebounds, shooting 5 for 11 from the field and 5 for 11 from 3 and 1 for 1 from the free throw line. And the Heat leading scorer was their elite starting small forward, Jimmy Butler, who finished with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 9 for 19 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and 8 for 9 from the free throw line. For the Boston Celtics, their starting shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, would finish with 21 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, shooting 8 for 23 from the field in 37 minutes and 3 for 9 from 3. The leading scorer was their elite power forward, Jason Tatum, who finished with 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 10 for 21 from the field in 38 minutes, 5 for 8 from 3, and he made both of his free throw attempts on the night. With this win, the Boston Celtics are sitting at 6-3, which is the 4th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Miami Heat are now 3-4, which is good enough for 11th in the East as of January 7th, 2021. Jumping out to New York, the New York Knicks hosted the Utah Jazz and were able to beat them 112-100 after outscoring them by 26 in the second half. Big outing from the New York Knicks, and they currently have a winning record a week into January. For the Utah Jazz, off the bench, their small forward Joe Ingles would finish with 16 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 6 for 13 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3 in 28 minutes. And then their point guard off the bench, Jordan Clarkson, would finish with 19 points in 25 minutes, shooting 7 for 12 from the field. Their leading starter in scoring was Donovan Mitchell, their elite shooting guard, who'd finish with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 8 for 23 from the field in 36 minutes and 2 for 10 from 3. And then their elite center, Rudy Gobert, would finish with 14 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 blocks, shooting 7 for 9 from the field in 39 minutes. For the New York Knicks, off the bench, their point guard, Austin Rivers, would finish with 23 points and three rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals in 32 minutes, shooting 9 for 14 from the field and 5 for 7 from 3. Their starting point guard, Elfrid Payton, was finished with 22 points and 8 assists, shooting 10 for 15 from the field in 42 minutes. And then their starting power forward, Julius Randle, would finish with 30 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 10 for 26 from the field in 40 minutes, 0 for 5 from 3, and 10 for 12 from the free throw line. With this win, the New York Knicks are currently sitting at 5-3, and in the East, they currently sit with the 5th best record, tied with the Milwaukee Bucks. And with this loss, the Utah Jazz are currently sitting 5th or tied for 4th in the Western Conference at 4-4 with the New Orleans Pelicans, the Golden State Warriors, and the Sacramento Kings. Jumping out to Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Bucks were able to beat the Detroit Pistons 130-115 after outscoring the Pistons by 11 in the first quarter, 15 in the second, by a total of 26 in the first half that they were able to run away with. For the Detroit Pistons, off the bench, their shooting guard, Saddiq Bey, would finish with 20 points and 10 rebounds in 24 minutes, shooting 6 for 14 from the field and 6 for 10 from 3. And then their leading scorer was their power forward, Jeremy Grant, who'd finished with 31 points and 10 rebounds in 35 minutes, shooting 9 for 20 from the field. And then Blake Griffin, their elite power forward, would finish with 9 points and 5 assists in 26 minutes, shooting 2 for 9 from the field and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. For the Milwaukee Bucks, off the bench, their power forward, Bobby Portis, would finish with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 7-11 from the field in 28 minutes. Their starting center, Brook Lopez, would finish with 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 6 for 9 from the field in 28 minutes, and 4 for 7 from 3. Their starting small forward, Chris Middleton, would finish with 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists in 31 minutes, shooting 9 for 15 from the field and 5 for 6 from 3. And then their elite power forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo, would finish with 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 8 for 15 from the field in 28 minutes. He shot 1 for 5 from 3 and 8 for 14 from the free throw line. With this win, the Milwaukee Bucks are currently sitting with the New York Knicks, tied for the 5th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Detroit Pistons are sitting at the bottom of the East by themselves with a 1-7 record as it currently stands. Jumping out to New Orleans, the New Orleans Pelicans hosted the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Thunder were able to beat the Pelicans 111-110 after outscoring the Pelicans by 15 in the third quarter in order to get themselves back up into the league. The Pelicans tried to come back, but the Oklahoma City Thunder would be the teams that would come out of this victorious. For the New Orleans Pelicans, their starting point guard, Lonzo Ball, would finish with 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 6 for 18 from the field in 36 minutes. Their elite small forward, Zion Williamson, would finish with 29 points and 6 rebounds, along with 3 steals in 32 minutes, shooting 12 for 17 from the field and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. And then their elite small forward, Brandon Ingram, would finish with 24 points, shooting 11 rebounds and 4 assists, shooting 9 for 15 from the field and 6 for 6 from the free throw line. And then out to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Off the bench, their power forward, Mike Muscala, would finish with 18 points in 21 minutes, shooting 6 for 9 from the field and 5 for 7 from 3. Their starting small forward, Darius Bazley, would finish with 20 points and 12 rebounds, shooting 8 for 20 from the field in 34 minutes. And their leading scorer was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who finished with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and 5 steals, shooting 7 for 17 from the field in 37 minutes, 2 for 7 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. With this win, the Oklahoma City City Thunder are currently sitting at 3-4, which is good enough to tie them for the 8th best record in the West with the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Trailblazers. And with this loss, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 4-4, which ties them for the 4th best record in the West, alongside the Jazz, the Warriors, and the Sacramento Kings. Looking out to Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns hosted the Toronto Raptors and were able to beat the Raptors 123-115 after outscoring the Toronto Raptors by 7 in the second quarter and by 5 in the third, because it was a very close game for the most of it, but they were able to outscore the Raptors in quarters more than the Raptors were able to outscore them. They were able to come away with a very, very big win. And for the Toronto Raptors, their starting small forward, OG Anunoby, would finish with 20 points and 8 rebounds, shooting 8 for 10 from the field in 38 minutes and 3 for 5 from the three-point line. Their elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, would finish with 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting 9 for 15 from the field in 38 minutes, 3 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And then their elite starting power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 11 for 21 from the field and 9 for 14 from the free throw line in 38 minutes. For the Phoenix Suns, off the bench, their power forward, Dario Saric, would finish with 15 points and 5 rebounds, shooting 6 for 11 from the field in 17 minutes, along with 2 for 3 from the three-point line. Their small forward off the bench, Cam Johnson, would finish with 16 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 6 for 10 and from the field and 4 for 7 from 3 in 28 minutes. Or in 23 minutes, Their starting small forward, Jay Crowder, would finish with 21 points, shooting 7 for 11 from the field in 35 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the free throw line as well. Their elite starting point guard, Chris Paul, would finish with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists, shooting 4 for 12 from the field and 4 for 4 from the free throw line in 32 minutes. And then their leading scorer was their elite small forward, their elite shooting guard, Devin Booker, who would finish with 24 points and 6 assists in 35 minutes, shooting 6 for 14 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and 9 for 10 from the free throw line. With this win, the Phoenix Suns are currently sitting at 6-2, tied with the Los Angeles Lakers for the best record in the West. And with this loss, the Toronto Raptors are currently sitting at 1-6, which is half a game above the Detroit Pistons for the second worst record in the Eastern Conference right now. And then jumping out to Oakland, the Golden State Warriors hosted the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Los Angeles Clippers were able to come away with the 108-101 win after outscoring the Golden State by 6 in the first quarter and then 5 in the third. It was a very close game until the very, very end, but the Clippers were able to pull out their 6th win of the season, like I just said. For the Golden State Warriors off the bench, their power forward, Eric Paschall, would finish with 19 points, shooting 7 for 14 from the field and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And then their starting small forward, Andrew Wiggins, would finish with 19 points. He led the team in scoring as he shot 8 for 12 from the field and 2 for 4 from the three-point line. Their goated point guard, Steph Curry, would finish with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 5 for 17 from the field in 35 minutes, where he also shot 1 for 6 from the three-point line, and he made 2 of his 4 free throw attempts, and I'm pretty sure he might have broke his streak of making consecutive free throws in a game. For the Los Angeles Clippers, their elite shooting guard, Paul George, would finish with 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists, shooting 5 for 15 from the field in 39 minutes, 2 for 6 from 3, and 9 for 9 from the free throw line, and tied with him for the game high, or for the team high in scoring, or the game high in scoring, was Kawhi Leonard, the Los Angeles Clippers' goated small forward, who'd finished with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 7 for 12 from the field in 35 minutes, 0 for 3 from 3, but he made all 7 of his free throws. With this win, the Los Angeles Clippers are now sitting at 6-3, which is half a game behind the Lakers and Suns, and they currently are sitting with the 3rd best record in the West. With this loss, the Golden State Warriors are tied with the Pelicans with the 4th best record in the West at 4-4, alongside the Jazz and the Kings as well. And jumping out to the last game of the night, speaking of the Sacramento Kings, the Kings hosted the Chicago Bulls and were able to get the 128-124 win after going into the 4th quarter tied and coming out with a 4-point win. For the Chicago Bulls, their starting shooting guard, Zach LaVine, would finish with 32 points in 36 minutes. He also finished with 7 rebounds as well, as he shot 13 for 24 from the field, 3 for 11 from 3. And their leading scorer was their point guard, Kobe White, out of UNC, who'd finished with 36 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 15 for 23 from the field in 40 minutes and 4 for 9 from 3. For the Sacramento Kings, off the bench, their rookie point guard, Tyrese Halliburton, would finish with 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals, shooting 7 for 15 from the field in 35 minutes. Their starting small forward, Harrison Barnes, would finish with 20 points and 5 assists, shooting 7 for 10 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 5 from the free throw line in 37 minutes. Their starting power forward, Marvin Bagley, would finish with 21 points and 12 rebounds, shooting 8 for 14 from the field in 29 minutes. Marvin Bagley was in my class at Duke, so good for him. Great performance for him. He also shot 3 for 5 from the 3-point line and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And their leading scorer was their power forward, Richaun Holmes, who finished with 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Shooting 10 for 11 from the field in 30 minutes and 4 for 6 from the free throw line. With this win, alongside the other teams in the West that are tied with the 4th best record, the Kings sit at 4-4. And with this loss, the Chicago Bulls are sitting with the 10th best record in the East at 4-5 as it currently stands. And looking out to today's games, because yesterday was Wednesday, but looking forward to the Thursday night matchup, starting with the mainstream. At 7:30, the 4-4 Brooklyn Nets are going to host the 7-1 Philadelphia 76ers. And then at 10 o'clock, the 3-4 Denver Nuggets are going to host the 3-4 Dallas Mavericks on TNT. Outside of TNT at 8 o'clock, the 2-5 Memphis Grizzlies are going to host the 4-4 Cleveland Cavaliers. The defending champions 6-2 Los Angeles Lakers are going to host the 3-4 San Antonio Spurs at 10 o'clock. And also at 10 o'clock, the 3-4 Portland Trailblazers are going to host the 2-5 Minnesota Timberwolves. Looking out into college basketball as it currently stands, looking out to last night's performances, starting with number 2 Baylor. They were able to beat unranked Oklahoma 76-61 behind Matthew Mayer's 16 points and 6 rebounds, and outscoring the Oklahoma Sooners by 17 in the first half. With this win, Baylor is now 10-0, and they're now 3-0 in the Big 12. And with this loss, Oklahoma is 6-3 as they drop to 2-2 in the Big 12. 7th-ranked Creighton was able to beat unranked Seton Hall 89-53, beating them by 36 points. Damian Jefferson led the way for Creighton with 19 points, especially after Creighton outscored Seton Hall by 11 in the first half and then 25 in the second half. With this win, Creighton is now 9-2 on the season. They are 5-1 in the Big East. And with this loss, Seton Hall is 8-5, and they are 5-2 in the Big East. 9th-ranked Tennessee was able to beat unranked Arkansas 79-74 as they outscored the Arkansas Razorbacks by 12 in their second half comeback. John Fulkerson led the way for Tennessee with 16 points and 8 rebounds. With this win, Tennessee is now 8-1 on the season. They are 2-1 on the SEC. With this loss, Arkansas is 9-2 as they are 1-2 in the SEC. 10th-ranked Michigan was able to beat 16th-ranked Minnesota 82-57 by 25 as Hunter Dickinson led the way for Michigan with 28 points and 8 rebounds as Michigan outscored Minnesota by 19 points in the second half to extend their 6-point first half lead. With this win, Michigan is now 10-0 on the season and they are 5-0 in the Big Ten. With this loss, Minnesota is now 10-3 as they drop to 3-3 in the Big Ten. 11th-ranked Houston was able to beat unranked Wichita State 70-63 behind Justin Gorham's 14 points and 10 rebounds. With this win, Houston is now 9-1 and they are 4-1 in the American Conference, and Wichita State is now 6-3. They are 2-1 in the American Conference. Unranked Louisville was able to beat 19th-ranked Virginia Tech in Louisville 73-71 after outscoring Virginia Tech by 5 in the first half. Virginia Tech came back, but it just wasn't enough. As the last second 3-pointer that was taken, the game just didn't fall, so it didn't even count in the first place. But Louisville still came out with the win. Behind Jalen Withers, 16 points and 12 rebounds. With this win, Louisville is now 8-1. They are 3-0 in the ACC, and with this loss, Virginia Tech is now 8-2 as they drop to 2-1 in the ACC. 21st ranked Duke hosted unranked Boston College and were able to beat Boston College 83-82 behind Wendell Moore Jr.'s 25 points. With this win, because he was able to hit the step-back jumper for Duke and able to get a big win for them over Boston College. With this win, Duke is now 4-2. They are 2-0 in the ACC. Go Duke. And Boston College, with this loss, is now 2-8 as they now drop to 0-4 in the ACC. 22nd ranked UVA hosted unranked Wake Forest and were able to beat them 70-61 after outscoring Wake Forest by 14 points in the second half after trailing by 5 in the first. Sam Hauser led the way for UVA as he finished with 16 points and 11 rebounds. And with this win, Virginia is now 6-2 as they are now 2-0 in the ACC. And with this loss, Wake Forest is now 3-2 as they drop to 0-2 in the ACC as it currently stands. And jumping out to today's matchups, at 5 o'clock, unranked Colorado is going to host 17th ranked Oregon on FS1. At 7 o'clock, unranked Maryland is going to host 5th ranked Iowa on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock. Or also 8th ranked Wisconsin is going to host unranked Indiana on FS1. At 8:30, 1st ranked Gonzaga is going to host unranked BYU on ESPN. And at 9 o'clock, unranked Northwestern is going to host 12th ranked Illinois on Big Ten Network. And then looking out to what's going on in the world of soccer as it currently stands right now. Because yesterday was a lot of tournament matchups, but starting with the Carabao Cup, Manchester City was able to beat Manchester United in order to advance to the next round, as John Stones and Fernandinho would score the goals to get Manchester City past Manchester United. Looking out into Serie A as to what happened now with those teams. In other news, Lazio was able to beat Fiorentina, and Ciro Immobile was scored yet another goal in the 75th minute, as they were able to get 3 points in the table there. Inter Milan lost to Sampdoria, so that's going to affect the table somewhat. And Juventus was able to beat AC Milan 3-1. Kessié would score 2 goals, and then the American Weston McKennie would score in the 76th minute to all but basically seal the game for Juventus. And with the 3 goals, they finished with 3 points and move closer to the top of the table. As it stands, AC Milan still sits atop of the table because Inter Milan lost, and Juventus is currently sitting 4th in the table as they are 7 points out of first place, with 1 less game played than AC Milan, but about 20 whole games left to play in the season. Looking out to La Liga, Barcelona was able to beat Athletic Bilbao 3-2, as their goated forward Lionel Messi would score in the 38th and the 62nd minute to give Barcelona a much-needed win in La Liga. And looking out to La Liga right now, Barcelona is finally sitting 3rd in La Liga after at one point being in 12th or 15th place. They are currently 7 games out of first place with 2 more games played than Atletico Madrid as it stands. But this win was pretty important for them, and Messi, big goals from Messi before Athletic Bilbao scored their 2nd goal in the 90th minute. And then in Ligue 1, PSG tie with Saint-Étienne, and with this win, they only get 1 point in the table, so I think that's going to move them away from what they were going for, as Moise Kean scored the only goal of the day. Lille actually lost to Angers, but Lyon was able to beat Lens 3-2. So if you're currently looking out into French Ligue 1, the current leaders of that table are Olympique Lyonnais, who are 3 points ahead of PSG and Lille, but Lille is now officially ahead of, or PSG is ahead of Lille because of goal differential. So now the only team that they're chasing in Ligue 1 is Olympique Lyonnais, who with this win and PSG's draw is now 3 points ahead. And looking forward, there's not a crazy amount of soccer action until Friday, because that's when Bayern Munich plays Borussia Mönchengladbach, and then Liverpool plays Aston Villa in the FA Cup. But of course, I'll get to that as soon as that day comes. I want to thank you once again for listening to all 28 minutes of this piece. Once again, it is Thursday, January 7th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone once again for listening to this piece, and then I'll catch you guys up tomorrow following tomorrow's NBA matchups. With that said, I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow.